This here is Hainan Island. It's where I started one of my trips through China. I mostly traveled by train and bus, and I had to take a boat and a plane at one point too because the trains were too busy. When I was in Hainan, I visited a temple I found in the guidebook, and I saw these guys at an early morning jam session. And the one thing I learned is people are pretty nice about letting you film if you ask them nicely. So I hung out in Hainan for a few days, and then I went by ferry to the mainland. Took a ferry across, and then a bus up to Guangzhou. I passed through Guangzhou, and I went where all the other backpackers go, Guilin. And I met two people, this young lady here, and this gentleman here. Some people will help you just because they're nice people, and other people will help you because they expect something in return. That guy there was only helping me so that he could take me to all his friends' little businesses and drive business towards them. This is my first trip on a train in China, and as you can see, the train is pretty empty. The cool thing is, right before Chinese New Year's or right after Chinese New Year's, it's really busy. But on that day, it was Chinese New Year's Day, and the train was almost empty. So I don't know if everybody was just at home with their family, but it was a very enjoyable experience. This is what the train typically looks like, and this is from my trip from Kunming to, I think, Chongqing. And there's Chongqing. That's the starting point for a lot of the river cruises that go to the Three Gorges Dam. After Chongqing, we went on to Chengdu, and there you see a huge pile of bikes in Chengdu. And if you're staying in Chengdu, this is a really good place to stay, the Traffic Hotel. They have really cheap rooms, and they're pretty clean too. After Chengdu, I flew to Xi'an, and in Xi'an, I of course saw the Terra-cotta warriors. I'm not actually supposed to be filming here, and eventually one of the guys there told me to stop, but in my defense, I didn't realize that I wasn't supposed to be filming, and it wasn't until he told me to stop that I realized I wasn't supposed to be doing that. The cool thing about Xi'an is the old part of the city still looks like this, and if this is what you're expecting to see in China, then I recommend going to Xi'an. Before I left Xi'an, I walked around this area not far from the city center, caught a glimpse of a fire, and not too long after, the firemen were there to put it out. Getting around China by train is a really cool way to travel.